It is a great way to start a new season here at MEYDAN. So much to look forward to, and I'm delighted to have the main man alongside me. He'll be calling them home all through the season, Pat Comerford. Pat, first of all, how was your summer, as we would say, back in the UK? And how have you been looking forward to the start of the new season?
Yeah, good to be back with you, Rishi. It's good to be back in Dubai. We've had 6 weeks sort of to lead up towards it, with many jump outs and getting set back for what's to be a pretty iconic season. We know the 30th running of the Dubai World Cup will commence in late March this year, next year I should say, and it's a very exciting season ahead. But yeah, rested up, spent some good time travelling with my partner, and we circumnavigated Asia quite a bit and did a fair bit of backpacking. So rested and refreshed for the new season.
You look refreshed.
Oh, I think I look a bit heavy, to be perfectly
you look
honest with you.
in great shape.
The suits are feeling like wetsuits at the moment. I feel like I go surfing in them, I reckon.
A picture of health, Pat, which is great. A word about the card before we get into it. It is an excellent one to start the new season. There are actually some really good horses on show, plus some really competitive races as well.
Yeah, look, it is. It's a little bit of a different setup to what we've seen in previous seasons, with, I guess, sort of the strength and some of these horses having different plans to what they've done in recent seasons. We know Ahmed bin Hamish has been quite adamant, I think, with Golden Vacoma's success earlier this year in Saudi, that another chance to get a horse there to win. The prize money's fantastic. It's very, very close by. If you've got the horses to do it, you can start their campaigns a little bit earlier. That's why we've got some of these good horses starting, which we'll see on show tonight in the first.
And I don't think, in all my years of working in the Dubai Racing Carnival, that I can ever remember a horse that won on Dubai World Cup night reappearing at the very first meeting of the season. So if someone else knows better, then I'll love to know. But we do have Dark Saffron in our opening race of the card, the first of 7, the Emirates Airline Conditions race. It's obviously featuring the return of the Dubai Golden Shaheen winner Dark Saffron for Conor Beasley and Ahmed bin Amash. 2 is Ramey, 1 of 2 in the race for Michael Costa. 3, Karama Valley. 4 doesn't go. 5, Adiaf, and 6 is La Signora. Pat, Dark Saffron, I think caught a few people by surprise would be an understatement on World Cup night, but there seemed to be no fluke about it, and a horse who switched from the turf to the dirt at the back end of the season with huge success.
Look, I mean, it was amazing to watch. He did it very impressively. There was a couple of hard luck stories behind him, but at the end of the day, he has defied the history books by being a 3-year-old who's come out and won on Dubai World Cup night in the Golden Shaheen. It hadn't been seen before, and well, he returns here hoping to continue on his resume and pick up another dirt feature in February, a little bit earlier in the Saudi Dirt Sprint. So this is a great starting point for him. I mean, he's running for some nice prize money. He comes into a field of 5 runners here and finds a conditions race where he should be spotting Ramey off 89, 11.5 kilos, but comes in off level weights at 59 kilos. So it's a nice race for him to start off, and I'd say he'll be doing this pretty comfortably. The weights and measures suggest that he will.
And of course, if you look back at the horse that finished 6th in that Dubai Golden Shaheen American stage, ran a really good race in the Breeders' Cup Sprint just last week at Del Mar. So even that suggests that this horse has got so much in hand. Is there any worth in discussing the others other than they're very useful? The Michael Costa pair clearly could be very useful.
Yeah, look, I think don't knock them out completely. I mean, I'm very interested to see how they both perform, because how they compare to Dark Saffron in this race, who knows? It's a horse race. They may come out and win. We've seen stranger things before. But at the end of the day, from a margins perspective, if they catch the eye behind a horse like Dark Saffron, that's going to hold them in very, very good stead for races further down the track. It's a nice starting point. We've seen Arigato Gozaimasu double nominate. He's double accepted. He's now going to race number 5. Probably a weaker, more suitable race for her, but at the end of the day, it does take a fair bit of speed out of the race. It means that Dark Saffron's probably not going to have any contesters up in front. He'll be left to his own devices.
Okay, so that's race 1. Looks like a great opportunity for Dark Saffron to get back on track this season, having finished off by winning the Dubai Golden Shaheen on World Cup night. Let's talk about race number 2. Quite competitive. A few interesting runners here making their official debut, and 1 or 2 with the potential for the season ahead. It's the Arabian Adventures maiden. Obviously, all the racing on the dirt as things stand. Number 1 is Desert Horizon. 2 2 is a non-runner, 3 Jubail, 4 Mystery Chime, at 5 is Nice Name, 6 is Chrono King, 7 Grey Boss, 8 Hidden Secret, first run for New Connections. At 9 is Knockmark, 10 La Yatal, 11 Original Outlaw, and 12 Vino Sauro. Interesting runner for Jamie Osborne and William Carver. We're going to have a look first of all at Hidden Secret, who used to be trained by Charlie Appleby in the Godolphin colours. Runs a really fine race here in what looked to be at the time quite a deep race, and has actually worked out quite well in terms of ratings. Obviously, this horse has been off the track for a while, changed connections, but if this horse runs anywhere near this sort of form and adapts to the new surface, that's a pretty big chance.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I think you'll have a better idea. It's more so, look, as you said, a wintertime novice race on the turf, heavy track. It's conditions-wise very different to what he faces here tonight, but the form should stack up, you'd say.
Well, the form is strong. I mean, even the horse that's in the Juddmonte colours finishing back in 5th is a horse called Pinhole, who actually achieved quite a fair level. You look through the winner, Treble T, they're all good horses all around him. A repetition of that run on the dirt will be probably good enough, you would think. But obviously there is that question mark, although Hidden Secret is related to Gold Town, who was a winner of a very good race on the dirt back in the day for the same team, Charlie Appleby. So I like Hidden Secret. You've been overseeing the trials, and Grey Boss was competing in one of those.
Grey Boss actually trialled last season, funnily enough. That was back in March, where he was impressive to go down to the line here in front, an on-speed horse that, talking to Tiger O'Shea recently about the runner, I think they're a little bit of a concern is the gait. He's obviously a horse that will be looking to find himself on speed, and the concern is that he may have to work to find that spot and maybe overused as a result. But I think going into the trials here at MEYDAN, visually one of the better trialists we saw at the back end of last season, and I wouldn't be shocked to see Grey Boss run a good race here. I like the fact that this horse has had a trial, had that opportunity, and then had that sort of 7 or 8 months to be put away, matures, and comes back a horse who's got that opportunity to, I guess, develop a little bit more. Because there were indications that Grey Boss was very much a young 2-year-old with you know, probably a fair bit of growing to do, and has had the summer to do so. So, look, I'd like to hope that Grey Boss is on speed, giving a sight, and maybe a horse that can give Hidden Secret a bit of a race.
Okay, what else would you like to mention here? I presume Vino Sauro would be an interesting one. Jamie Osborne purchased specifically to come here in Dubai.
Yeah, look, it's great to see Jamie come back. I mean, they had so much luck with Heart of Honour. I mean,
they
accrued,
not luck, actually.
Yeah, true, I know what you mean. But they look, at the end of the day, they accrued £80,000 in prize money, nearly £500,000 dirham, by running on their little aftermarket trip to the US, running in the Preakness and in the Belmont Stakes. That's given Jamie, it's given Connections a really good opportunity to build up some confidence and go, you know what, let's target the Dubai Carnival properly. They've brought over a really nice team. It'll be good to see Jamie here nice and early in the season, and hopefully Vino Sauro can kick it off very well for the team. La Yatel also fits the same bill as Grey Boss, a horse that we saw at the trials. He came out and debuted at the home track. He's had another chance to be put away. He's matured, and hopefully we see an improved race from him, because he did sort of blow up a little bit in the run on his debut, and I think coming back a 3-year-old, he's going to be better for it.
What's your pick?
I'm with Grey Boss. Hopefully finds a soft lead, and yeah, look, I mean, Tiger O'Shea's been plagued with bad gaits tonight, but Bupat's got a nice team of horses in tonight, and I hope Grey Boss, if he finds a soft lead, can make all the running.
Okay, that's a look at race 2. Let's move on and talk about race 3. And you heard from Pat talking about Tiger O'Shea not getting the best of draws. Well, he's on another newcomer who's trialled very well, but 6 Speed has got an awkward draw. We'll come to that in just a minute. The field headed by Abyan, Abiroy. 3 is a non-runner, Benghazi Star. 4 Do's and Don'ts. 5 is Ibn Zayun. 6 is Imirat. 7 Nayem. 8 is 6 Speed, the horse who we mentioned has got an awkward draw. 9 is State Glory, and 10 is Union Security. Well, again, going back to another trial, 6 Speed, Abiroy, Ibn Zaydun, all involved here. 6 Speed's got enough pace to get out from and defy stall 10?
Yeah, look, I mean, they had discussions with owners last night as to whether or not they were going to take part in this race, and I can understand why. You've got a 2-year-old horse that's coming out for its first ever run, and it draws gate 10 of 10 and needs to be on speed. It's not an ideal way to start a campaign, and there's obvious worries that you would burn a horse out by doing that if you had to overuse the horse early. And I'm sure they've got a nice sort of 6 furlong, 7 furlong sprinting campaign going on for this horse this season. So I can understand why they had their doubts. Well, Benghazi Star comes out of the race. He was his biggest contender here tonight. Going off what we've seen at the trials, Benghazi Star was the horse that was going to be the biggest concern, drawing to his inside. He comes into 9 here of 9, which makes it a little bit easier, but he loses his he loses his biggest contender.
Yeah.
Union Security is a nice horse. He's much bigger than Benghazi Star. He's got a beautiful action. He's a horse that I think will get over more ground, and the breeding suggests that he will. I think that Union Security is probably the only threat here for 6 Speed tonight. If 6 Speed goes to the front, overworks and capitulates, Union Security is the horse that will be coming over the top. But I had it in a race in 2 from what we've seen at the trials.
Okay, well, 6 Speed is, if you're looking on the international markets, in some places as short as 1 to 3 for this race. He is by not this time the stallion sensation who's having a great thing at time stateside at the moment. And judged by that trial, he will take all the beating. So that's a look at that maiden. It's due off at 6:40. Let's move on and talk about race number 4 next. Now we move into some competitive handicap company. And this race is over 9 furlongs, and the field headed by Arabian Tail, Book Review, Ezaj, Kathab, Magic Petition, Shepperton Lodge. 7 is Arlan, 8 is Al Mukhtar, 9 is Moonshiner, 10 Dubai Welcome, 11 is Deciduous. Wait till Deciduous gets back on the turf. I'll tell you about that later. 12 is Poster Paint, and that completes the lineup. I had enough goes at supporting Deciduous last season.
I'll give you a credit, Rishi. You were a loyal man. You were a loyal man.
Well, thank you. Let's have a look at Poster Paint and Shepperton Lodge involved in the race here at the back end of last season. Again, it was on the turf. Poster Paint, he's a really interesting horse because I think mark-wise he can win off this mark. But sometimes I'm not entirely certain I can trust him. I don't know if I've been too harsh.
No, you're spot on. I've got him on top here in this race, but I don't know how many more times you can probably be burned by him before he joins the Deciduous camp and gets the life ban. But the thing about Poster Paint is that he has got great form for this grade of racing on the turf and also on the dirt. He's a versatile horse who runs an honest race but is never able to capitalise and be the winner. Yeah. So that's always the concern. But again, there's been indications that Poster Paint will be fit enough for this performance. Had he drawn a gate, I would have been much more confident, but I'm sticking with him even though I'm concerned on the back end that we're going to see the Poster Paint we always do, looms up at the 200 and unfortunately drops away. But yeah, it's one of those races with 55 kilos coming into this event. He's weighted to run a good race, and I think at weights and measures he gets his chance here. And it's one of those races, Rishi. I just couldn't make a case for anything else in the race to say, okay, well, if Poster Paint doesn't run a good race, who beats him? And there's nothing here that has jumped out of the page. Maybe Magic Petition and Ezaj. Ahmed bin Hamish has had a great run of getting his horses going early in the season. We've seen horses like Al Jadaf and other runners in the yard really fire early in the season. Maybe we see that from them tonight. But they're the outside of Poster Paint. They were the only 2 I could make a case for. If Poster Paint gets any luck from the gate, I think we'll see him in the finish. Whether he wins, I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I couldn't trust Poster Paint, I took a tentative selection for Book Review. I like the last 2 runs last season. At the back end of last season, finished 2nd here in February, and then the final run actually wasn't too bad, even though he finished in 7th. He was caught out a little bit wide. So I'm hoping that he can go forward from stall 6. But of course, for Poster Paint, Tiger Shea has again got an awkward draw on the outside. He'll be tested tonight, Tiger Shea, as he tries to defy a few different awkward draws on the outside. Okay, let's move on and talk about the next race, race number 5. One of the best races of the evening. This indeed is the feature, the Emirates Airline Handicap, and a really good field lining up for this, headed by Mount Kosciuszko. 2 is Arabic Legend, 3 is Cupid's Dream, 4 Quality Humour, 5 is Kalidasa, 6 Lasudud, 7 is Laresh, 8 Al Jadaf. These are horses and names that we know quite well. And of course, Pat's already referred to number 9, Adagato Gozemazu. 10 is Made in Dubai. 11 Injazati, 12 Smart System, and 13 Million Dodo. Let's have a look at Cupid's Dream, who's one of the leading fancies for the race, a race that also involves Mount Kosciuszko from Valentine's Day.
Yeah, look, it was a race where Cupid's Dream, fate suggested that Cupid's Dream was going to pull out all the sticks and win, and that's exactly what we saw with Silvestre de Sousa going on to win on the Son of Dubawi. It was a nice performance, but the horse had racing heading into that event, and one could suggest that he got better as he got into his preparation and got more fit. My concerns are, and I'm going to be honest, I respect William Pereira as a jockey. He's made his way over from Argentina. He's a very successful rider in South America. This is his first meeting riding here at Meydan, and you're coming up against a Dubai World Cup winning rider who's on a very logical chance in Arabic Legend. You've got Pat Dobbs, who's jumping aboard Mount Kosciuszko, and Bernardo Pinheiro's run at this track many, many times as well. So, look, Cupid's Dream's got every chance, but is also saddled up by or piloted by a rider who is very much learning about Meydan here tonight on a race night. So that sort of turned me off a little bit. Mount Kosciuszko has got very, very good stats. He's the highest rated horse, but has to lug a lot of weight. I'm, as a result, in the corner of Arigato Gozaimasu. I think there was a nice... look, it's not a play we see all too often here in the UAE, where a trainer will double nom, double accept, and cop the penalty financially to choose the race that you want to go in. Has decided to head to the mile race here, which I think is more winnable, considering that the filly's not coming up against Dark Saffron in the first race.
Yes.
But 1600 is a pretty tough starting point for a filly who we know had a nice Oaks campaign, didn't unfortunately win the Oaks, but gave sights as the biggest threat to Queen Azteca last season. I'd like to see Arigato Gozaimasu, even though we'll see her improve with fitness, head straight to the front from 4 and do what she always tries to do and run them into the ground, because I think there's a lot of horses here that are using this as a stepping stone forward and won't be at full fitness or looking to capitalise here. Arigato Gozaimasu's racing pattern suggests that that's what will happen, and I've got her leading all the way.
Well, I think it's a really exciting race, exactly what you're saying. I think she will go forward. She threatened to be a very good filly. She didn't quite live up to the early expectation after her win here early on in the season. So I hope she runs really well, and I can see her doing that. But I'm hoping she does go forward. Cupid's Dream, when he made his return last season, I thought he travelled. I mean, that was over 10. And he travelled like the winner all the way through and then just fell in a hole. Maybe it's the fact he needed that first run and he dropped back in trip to a mile. And I'm thinking, I'm taking the chance that our Argentinian friend that we welcomed to Meydan for a first ever meeting, William Pereira, can get off the mark with Cupid's Dream, if not before. Or indeed after.
Yeah, correct. So, well, it's a wonderful race. It's going to be good, and you know that, as you said, there's going to be that pace element in the race. So for horses that do get back and are looking to run on, if they have that fitness there, it's going to be quite an honest... Everything's going to get their chance, is the best way to describe it.
Well, one of the leading contenders in that race is Mount Kosciuszko, trained by Julio Olascuaga, and he's been chatting to Laura King, looking ahead to the season. Okay, so should we just pick up with now? Let's